Welcome to Q&A practice. Let's get started with some warm-up. We'll do a little two voice, get our fingers moving, and then we'll do some four voice practice. Let's start with the defense. Ready? What was that discussion to get it fixed? Was he going to put a false tooth in? I'm not sure what he was going to do. When was the last time you had a discussion with Dr. Crow about replacing the tooth? I don't remember. You don't have any other broken teeth by any chance, do you? No, I don't. So then actually, would it be a fair statement to say that you really only saw Dr. Crow one time in connection with the tooth? I think I saw him a few times. I don't know. I would have to look at the bills. Now, with regard to any other injuries that you received in the accident, what other present complaints do you have that you relate to those injuries? Nothing outside of the ankle and the knee. I guess that is about the extent of it. Okay, your main treating doctor was Samuel N. Jones, is that right? Yes. When did you last see Dr. Jones for treatment or examination relating to the injuries that you received in the accident of July 4? Golly, in your answer to interrogatories, you indicated that it was in the month of April. Would that in any way refresh your recollection? That is pretty close. It would be about 2.5 years ago. When is the last occasion that you had any actual treatment for your knee or your ankle? I have had no special treatment from any doctor since the last time that I visited Dr. Jones. He said swimming was good for it, and I have done some of that. Have you done anything on your own since that April? Do you mean under the doctor's care or what he suggested to do? Certainly, swimming or exercise. I like to play golf, but I can just barely make 9 holes before my leg gives out. All right, I hope your fingers are moving, feeling warmed up. And let's try some four voice practice now. Excuse me. All right, we will start with the plaintiff. Ready? So effectively, there's one financial statement for the Ryder North family of companies. Yes, as I'm putting these stickers on, Steve, I'm trying very hard not to recover anything up, but please feel free to remove it to take a look underneath if you think it would help you in answering any questions. Sure. Given the size of the stickers, it's going to be impossible for me not to cover stuff up. So what I've put in front of you is Deposition Exhibit 6, and I'll just try to characterize it and see if you agree with me about this. This looks to be some sort of transaction document concerning a transaction between Ryder North Limited as seller and Sears Roebuck and Company as buyer. Is that a fair characterization? Yes. And on the first page, Bates number N367643, it lists the items that are being sold by Ryder North Limited to Sears Roebuck and Company. Is that a fair characterization? Yes. And one of the products is described generally as a gazebo. Is that fair? Yes. And I take it you probably cannot tell me sitting here today exactly what kind of gazebo that is. No. Or whether there's a gazebo of the type that's at issue in this case. I can't, not based on this. Direct your attention to the last page, N760543. Let me know when you're done. Okay. It lists the destination address in Vernon, California. Is that a fair statement? Yes. So would you conclude based on that and the totality of Deposition Exhibit 6 that Ryder North Limited shipped the goods described in this deposition exhibit to Sears Roebuck in Vernon, California? Let me review a little bit. Sure, take your time. Let me just amend my question. Would you conclude based on reviewing Deposition Exhibit 6 that the goods described therein were shipped by Ryder North Limited to Sears Roebuck and Company, either to or through California? Object to the form of the question. Based on reading this, it doesn't look like this is actually a document that shows what was shipped. Why do you say that? On page 2, so just so the record's clear, N760543, is that the page you're looking at? Yes. Looks like this is just an order because it talks about original release date, contract revised date, master order, special instructions, 14 days prior to applicable ready date. Seller shall confirm in writing to purchaser the date on which merchandise ordered herein will be delivered. In accordance with this order. Let me just interrupt you briefly. If you're done with that part, go right ahead, so I can direct you on that same page that you were just looking at, 007063. There are two subparagraphs under what you were just reading, A and B, and then there's a further subparagraph, little I. Do you see where I am? Yes. It reads, require seller to deliver the merchandise by air freight, and then it goes on. Do you see where I am? Yes. Would you conclude that, based on that the products described in Deposition Exhibit 6 that were sold by Ryder North Limited to Sears Roebuck and Company were delivered to or through California? Based on this, I can't tell if they were actually delivered at all, but accordingly, the directions say that it should come into or go through California. Okay, and the reason why you can't say that is because this isn't a final signed invoice from Ryder North Limited. Is that fair? Yes. So this would be a transaction document that was generated earlier in the transaction process. Is that a fair statement? Yes. I take it, sitting here today, you have no reason to believe that this order was not consummated and shipped by Ryder North or sent by Ryder North Limited to Sears Roebuck and Company, either in or through California. Is that fair? I can't tell unless I saw the company commercial invoice. You need a magnifying glass. That's what I was just going to say. I know. What I've put before you, Steve, is Deposition Exhibit 7, and I apologize for how small the print is on here, but this is the way the documents were produced to us. This appears to be a purchase order issued by Ryder North LLC. Is that fair? Yes, and this was issued at a time. Can you please describe to me what Ryder North LLC is? Given the address, it's Ryder North, would be Ryder North US LLC, Ryder North Limited Liability Company. Okay, so this is not a predecessor to Ryder North US. The US was just left out of the name of the company on this purchase order. Is that fair? Yes, and this was issued while Ryder North US was located in Placerville, California. Is that fair? That's fair. And below the area we were just looking at, there is some vendor information, and the vendor is listed as Ryder North China. Is that fair? Yes. So let me just try to cut to the chase here and see if you can agree with this general statement. Does Deposition Exhibit 7, let me back up, is Deposition Exhibit 7 a purchase order issued by Ryder North LLC to Ryder North China? Yes. So Ryder North China is selling product to Ryder North US. Is that fair based on this Deposition Exhibit 7? Yes. And presumably shipping, well, let me correct that. It would appear that the goods are being shipped to a Ryder North facility in Arkansas. Is that fair? That's correct. And can you read what the products are? I'll admit I don't think I can. It's 10 straight leg, something gazebo, and then there's the word gazebo somewhere in there. It looks like it. Okay, this one's not as bad, thankfully. This is 9 now? Yes. Yeah, 8 and 9. Okay, so I've just put before you Deposition Exhibits 8 and 9, and again I'm going to generally characterize and see if you can agree with me about the general statement. Deposition Exhibits 8 and 9 appear to be purchase orders issued by Ryder North US to Ryder North China Limited for certain products described in each. Is that fair? For certain products described in Deposition Exhibits 8 and 9? Yes. So again, it appears based on these purchase orders that Ryder North US is purchasing products from Ryder North China. Is that fair? Yes. And on Deposition 8, is it fair to say that the products that are being sold are products that are at issue in this case? Can't tell exactly from this. It appears to be, but the descriptions don't match. Item descriptions. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't asking you to compare 8 and 9. Let's just focus on Deposition Exhibit 8 for now. Would it be fair to say that the products sold or described in Deposition Exhibit 8 are products that are at issue in this case? It's hard to tell based on this document. We make a sun shelter that is not tied to the products in this case. And that will conclude our Q&A practice.